Erica Serwin from Pink Buckaroo Designs, and I am here to show you a watercolor card that I did using the Sheltering Tree stamp set. This is a great stamp set we've had for a while. It's in the bigger catalog. If you have both the holiday and the annual, this is in the annual catalog. And I did something a little bit different. I used my aqua painter to create a watercolor look. I also did a little bit on the inside. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. Alright, the first thing you're going to need is watercolor paper. I recommend you using watercolor paper instead of normal paper. The water will behave better on the watercolor paper. Alright, so now the first thing you're going to stamp is the actual tree. The tree trunk and the branches, and I'm using Early Espresso ink for that. And I went ahead and cut out my shape already. I used one of the oval framelets, and I believe it's the second largest. I'm going to stamp that on there. Luckily with these photopolymers we can see exactly where we're stamping. Alright, let's get that out of the way. The next color is Crushed Curry, and I'm using this larger image, the one that's intended to go over the tree, with the Crushed Curry. Now, I wanted to be more specific with my colors of my leaves, so this time I'm using the very small leaf stamp. And it's going to go a little bit slower, but I have much better control over it that way. Now this is Delightful Dijon, a darker yellow. So I'm just going to start spreading the color out around. I started with the Crushed Curry because I wanted yellow to be the largest amount of color that I used. Now I'm going light to dark, so I don't really even have to stop to clean my stamp. I'm going to tap it off a little bit, and I'm going to open Pumpkin Pie next. And I'm just going to kind of fill in here, going around, make sure you get in the middle too. And I like to have just one little clump of leaves look like they're falling off. So we'll do that with a pumpkin pie. Next is Cajun Craze. I love fall colors, and I really love coming up with these little schemes of colors for fall on my projects. We have some really good fall colors. All right. And last is Cherry Cobbler. Now, here in South Texas, we don't get very many trees that turn colors like this. We have a little bit of color, but it usually comes between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I know in most places, that's way past fall foliage peak season. But that's when we get it here, if we get any at all, actually. All right, I think that is good. Now this piece is going to go on the inside right here, and I stamped just half of the tree and did the exact same thing. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that. See how I overlapped a little bit so that I don't have to do the whole tree there. And I'll go again with the Crushed Curry. And I'm gonna, because this is the inside, I'm just gonna do pumpkin pie and some of the cherry cobbler. I'm not gonna get quite as detailed with those colors as I did. Let's stamp off on my paper a little bit. Do you guys use your grid paper? You know, this paper right here you can get in the catalog, and I use it a ton. It's great. It really protects your surface. All right, I think that's good. Oh, you know what? Let's add one little falling group. There we go. All right, so I'm going to move that one out of the way, and we're going to start with this one. This is my aqua painter, and I have filled it with water. And I'm going to squeeze it just a little bit to get a little bit of that color out. And I'm just going to start kind of dabbing all over with the color. I'm not going to do a whole lot of painting per se. I'm not going to do a lot of strokes. I want those colors to just kind of pile in there together and just really blend. And I don't want to do too much because it will get muddy if I spend too much time on this. I'm also going to try to leave a few little white spaces in there because I kind of like how you can see the white through there. All right, now you can let that dry, but I prefer to get my heat tool. And the heat tool will help this dry really quickly. That looks pretty good, except for where I put my fingerprint right there, so make sure you don't do that. I think it'll be okay though. I think that looks like leaves falling. So you can see how even just these two are that much different. No two are gonna look the same. Looks like I had more red here than here maybe. This is a little bit more orange. All right, so now let me do this one also. I'm using is from Sassy Salutations, an oldie but goodie, and I'm going to use the happy birthday stamp. Alright, so I'm going to use Early Espresso, and I'm going to stamp that right there. Alright, so now let's put our card together. Let's get this paper out of the way and the aqua painter so we don't make a mess. I used an Early Espresso card base and some cherry cobbler cardstock that I cut with one of our banner framelits. I'm also using a piece of the Delightful Dijon DSP that you can find in the In Color stack. And I'm going to put that right there. Whoops, let's get it even. Well, my goodness, let's see. All right, there we go. And put a little bit of fast fuse here on the back of our banner. Put it right in the middle. And I'm going to lift this up a little bit with some dimensionals. Like that. And my favorite linen thread. I felt like the linen thread had that kind of rustic fall feeling. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tie this so that it comes right over that little splotch. There's always a way to fix a mess up. So that's how I'm going to fix this mess up. I'm going to take my linen thread and make my bow right over that little splotch right there. So I wrapped it around twice and I'm finishing it with a little bow. And let's trim those off. And I'm going to finish it with one of our really cute Into the Woods wooden accents. And I'm just going to add that with a glue dot. There we go. Very nice. All right, put the second piece inside here. And we are done. All right, there you have it. I hope that you find this inspiring and see what else you can do with an aqua painter and a stamp set. All right, all the supplies and dimensions will be on my blog, so make sure you click back over to my blog if you're on YouTube. Thanks. Bye-bye.